keep the records, to compile the information needed to run an efficient operation really does necessitate filling the position at this time.
Thank you. Is there any other questions?
Chairman, can I just add one thing to that? By filling the clerk typist one and labor one, that's an entry-level position. It's much more efficient and cost efficient for the department as opposed to not filling it and having an upper-level position now do low-level functions in the absence of the existing clerical. And then the maintenance two, that would most likely be an internal bump from someone that's a maintenance worker one. And Dale and I have talked about that, and that one, we would have some very serious thoughts as to whether we would fill that one, come back and request to fill maintenance worker one.
Thank you. Councilman High.
Thank you, Chris. You asked the first question I was going to ask about the layoff aspects and so forth. Mr. Delgrave, were these in our discussion a couple hours back with the Budget Parameters Committee, when you referenced $640,000 or thereabouts? Were these included in those positions which are presently sitting with the mayoral veto, a separate bunch that are coming up next week? Were these included in the open positions?
These are all part of the
They're all
vacant
part of that.
positions.
Okay, thank you. And then I was also wondering about the my inclination is you know, move to the budget process, but then I'm trying to pick through it here, Wendy. The equipment operator is basically happening anyway, so even if this happens, there's still an opening in that department. Okay. And city clerk's office, Ms. Larpy, am I hearing correctly that we probably have trouble running elections if we don't have this one?
It will be very difficult.
Which is a side note, and I guess it's one of the privileges of sitting here, is one Republican referring to a Republican governor. The state budget is balanced on the backs of municipalities, basically. You know, but that's a side note. You can quote me or not, Betsy, it's up to you. Maintenance worker, that's being covered by someone else, so if that gets filled, there's still an opening in the department. And then, I'm not quite sure on the clerk typist, but I just find an interesting anecdote there. Secretary is probably not quite the right phrase here, but it's just interesting that, so what you're saying is we have a secretary out plowing the streets. Okay. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion?
I just want to add that clerk typist also supports the Parks and Rec Department and recycling. So she does a lot of work that we require. So when she's out plowing snow, we're kind of in a lurch. But I mean, she does our payroll, she does our purchasing, and you know, that's the support between the departments that you all need to be aware of. So I think it's an important position for Dale.
Okay, I would like to take these all individually. On the equipment operator one, water department, what is the pleasure of the committee? Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Number two, license election clerk, one, city clerk's office. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Maintenance worker two, street department. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. City typist one, labor one, street department. A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. And then back to closed session. We need individual response. Madam President? Eric? And we are now in closed session.